These are the words of Dr. Albert Armitage, commander of the USS Leviathan. Right now, it is, at least to my knowledge, July 4th, 2065. Houston, we do have a problem. It has been exactly 4 months and 1 day since Operation Last Stop has been initiated. We had a smooth launch from the Kennedy Space Center. We left the atmosphere of our home planet with the drive of hope in our hearts. I just want to preface this by saying that none of the crew are at fault for what had happened. This was not a case of human error. This was a case of the goddamn Twilight Zone, if you want my professional opinion. The road from Earth up until the point where we lost contact was a smooth ride with little problems. Seems like we had the perfect team. On the shuttle we have Lieutenant Commander Artilio Saraceno, Executive Officer and Chief Systems and Surface Operations Engineer. Corporal Fernando Arias, Robotics Operator, Field Technician and Security Lead. Dr. Regina Langford, Planetary Geologist and Surface Operations Lead. Dr. Susanna Bradsworth, Chief Astrobiologist and Biosafety Officer. Dr. Alan West, Lead Theoretical Physicist and Propulsion Anomaly Specialist. And myself, Dr. Albert Armitage, Mission Commander and Chief Pilot, Astrophysics and Thermodynamics Lead. Houston, on July 4th, 2065, today at 0900 hours, for the first time in human history, we made first contact with an extraterrestrial species. However, from our perspective here on the ship, whatever this thing was did not seem to come in peace. We were on schedule flying between Mars and Jupiter, when suddenly a massive wormhole-like structure opened. Although it's difficult for me to call what I saw any sort of structure. It was more like a tear in the very fabric of space and time itself. What came out of that tear was unlike anything I have ever seen in my life. It's honestly hard for me to describe what we saw. The only way I could explain it is that it was a giant, astronomically massive tentacle-like appendage. I am the commander of this ship, and it is my duty to keep a cool head, remain calm, and keep everybody else on the ship alive. But when I saw that thing come out of that tear in reality, that open space and time itself, a fear gripped me unlike anything I have ever felt. Especially when I clearly saw that there were eyes on that tentacle. Tens of thousands of eyes, if not even possibly millions. And not a single one of those eyes were not glaring directly at our shuttle. When it pulled us through the opening, I thought that was it for sure. We were doomed. We were getting pulled outside of our universe, outside of the framework of our reality. There is no way a three-dimensional being could survive this. This is our last moments. Apparently I was wrong, unless I'm dead and I just don't even know it. At this point, I'm to believe anymore. What we saw inside of that wormhole, well, you're probably going to hear this often in this recording, but again, it was unlike anything I've ever seen. It was like the entire universe was in 2D, and we were jumping over a fold. We saw the fabric of time itself flow past us in that fold while we remained the same. However much time it was that passed is impossible to say. For all I know, that thing could have pulled us 10 billion years in the future, and I'm sending this message to a ghost planet. When we were pulled out of the other side, we immediately entered the atmosphere of a planet. The planet was covered in ice. It was nearly impossible to see exactly what the surface of the planet looked like, since the appendage was covering the vast majority of the viewing ports. Dr. Susanna reported that she saw what she believed to be a giant trapezohedron-like altar in the distance. Something that's obviously not a natural occurrence. And since this planet is home to moon-sized tentacles that can create wormholes at will, apparently, we were not exactly rushing to go meet our planetary hosts, especially considering the non-consensual nature of our entrance. The strangest, or better yet, most terrifying part of our little sidetrack is that when we were nearing the surface of the planet, the tentacle opened yet another wormhole. For a moment, I believed we were about to get pulled through again, but at a certain point, when the tentacle was nearly through, it released us. The appendage disappeared into God knows where. We were left to take control of a shuttle that went completely offline when we had went through the first wormhole and at about 1,000 feet from the surface. Thankfully, our released us in a way where we were able to land safely. The gravity on this planet is significantly weaker than Earth, so we are all safe for now.
Although Corporal Fernando was infected when the tentacle initially grabbed at the shuttle, he's stable, but this is the time where I need all of my soldiers with me.
Since the initial crash, we have been able to get this shuttle online to a point where computer systems are up, but liftoff is impossible from our position. Now here's the big twist of an ending, if you want to call it that. Initially, we had no idea where we were at. The surface of the planet did not look like anything we had seen from what little view we had, but all scans report that we have reached our mission objective. Yes, we are on Pluto. How the surface looks completely different from what NASA had shown us from their scanners is just beyond anything I could think of. How NASA could miss the fact that there is this form of life so close to Earth is again something I would like to bring up with them if I ever return. But right now we have to focus on what we are going to do to survive, if that's even possible at this point. Our lead theoretical physicist, propulsion and anomaly specialist, Dr. Alan West, who is also my partner and colleague back home at Miskatonic University, has not failed to remind me of my familial connection to the supernatural. It is apparently my family's claim to fame. My ancestor, Dr. Henry Armitage, is said to have fought off some sort of monstrous anomaly summoned by some family back in Dunwich, Western Massachusetts. Back in the first half of the 20th century. I would like to believe that there is a reasonable or more plausible explanation to all of this. But if anybody has any ideas on that, I am all ears. As of right now, all I can do is rely on what my one organic and one cybernetically enhanced eyes see in front of me. now we are operating under the assumption that anything is possible, and that everything we believed, or thought we believed about the universe has been turned on its head in the matter of 1 hour. If this message somehow reaches Earth, and anyone from my lifetime is still alive, please send a message to my wife, Rebecca Armitage, in Arkham, Massachusetts. Tell her that I love her deeply and that she was right. I should have retired when I had lost my eye. She'll love to hear that for once. And please tell the American people, if we don't make it back, we went on this mission for them. We went on this mission to cure our country of the disease of war that was beginning to spread. We died so they don't have to. And if they disregard this and still go to war, then all of our deaths will be in vain. These are the words of Dr. Dr. Akley, can you read me? Dr. Akley?